In every major competitive field, only a single entity, whether it's a team or individual, can earn the title of the best. Football, basketball, tennis, the triple freaking crown, all of these have big, grandiose events in which the winner is crowned the ultimate champion. Melee is a bit weird on the other hand. I mean, yeah, it's a video game, so go ahead and argue in the comments on whether that actually counts as a competition, but we have a yearly ranking system, and there's no world championship or no MVP. Our best player is just one that's determined by the numbers. Now, that system hasn't been universally accepted, not because it's bad, no, not by any means, but part of it is because the skill level at the very top of Super Smash Bros. Melee is so completely otherworldly. The concept of who the quote-unquote best player really is ends up becoming this ever-changing thing, with sometimes wildly different answers depending on who you ask or what they value. Does winning tournaments make you the best? Does beating your opponent into submission make you the best? What if you just play really cool? The climb to the top of Melee in 2023 was the closest race we may have ever seen, so much so that we ended up in virtually a tie. And for the first time in Smash history, the two final candidates agreed to lay it all on the line. A duel for the title of best Melee player in the world.
I am the greatest.
The best player
He's the best in the world.
The best player in the world. I'm better.
Oh, that's gonna do it.
This is the best set I've seen all year, dude.
Even the ninja scroll couldn't save us from last stop.
That, unironically, may be a contender for the best set of the year.
It's up there. Cody Schwab.
He's off the stage.
That Zane wins phase 3.
Some would say if you give Cody an inch, he'll take a mile. What is this angle?
The big dog winning in the doghouse.
Cody from losers.
Somehow, Cody took that game.
I mean, dropping one game in a tournament like this is, those are levels of dominance that people like me can only aspire to.
Right.
Oh my God. Holy shit.
Let's go.
I am #1 in the world for a reason.
So yeah, for the first time ever, the #1 rank in worldwide Melee will be decided by one single match. It's a first attempt between the only two players with a realistic claim to that title in 2023, Cody Schwab and Zayn Nagmi. Ludwig's hosting it, there will be a bunch of exhibitions on the undercard, and then Cody and Zayn will duke it out in by far the wildest way Melee has decided a #1 since anybody started deciding a #1. That was back in 2013, by the way, when SSBM rank originated. Melee Stats, the big group who puts together those top 100 rankings, has put their endorsement on this event as well, and the 2023 SSBM rank that will release in early 2024 will abide by the results of this set. This is completely unprecedented, but so is this year's race for #1, for two reasons. These two players are truly and hilariously the only ones with a legitimate claim to #1, and they're really that close. Let's put it under the microscope.
Always remember, if you ain't first, you're last.
Of majors in this year, Zayn has won Tipped Off 14, Fate 3, Get On My Level, and Super Smash Con. Cody's won Major Upset, Battle of BC5, Shine, and the Big House 11. Alright, so they're literally even in major wins. Sure, some of these events are weighted differently than others. So let's just look at their head-to-head against each other.
Oh, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, that's totally messed up, but we're nerds, so let's go even more granular. These events weren't all the same size, so who won the biggest one? The biggest major of the year? Well, that one actually went to Jmook. It was Genesis 9, where Cody took 2nd and Zayn took 5th, losing to Jmook and Cody. The second biggest by entrant count did go to one of the contenders here though, the Big House 11, won by Cody in one of the most historic losers runs Melee has ever seen. Zayn bowed out at 4th as part of Cody's losers bracket rampage. Aha, finally, a clear point in Cody's favor, you might be thinking. But not so fast. The next two largest majors, still checking in at over 750 entrants, both belong to Zayn. That would be Super Smash Con and Get On My Level. Zayn sent Cody to losers en route to his win at SSC, and Cody never even made it to Zayn in Canada, falling to two of his fellow Spaceys in Mango and Moki. So, the grand entrant total, drumroll please, 2,376 entrants for Zayn at his 4 major wins, and 2,487 entrants for Cody at his 4 major wins. A difference of just 111, only once, that's really weird. Yeah, that's not gonna solve anything either. Okay, well, let's look at the head-to-heads against other players. Surely that'll clear some things up. But again, there's not really much separation to be found here. The skill level of the players Zayn has losing or even records against this season might be slightly higher than Cody's, but Cody has a great record against those players. Cody has played fewer sets against the players he lost to, and thus had fewer chances to rectify the situation, but in Zayn's defense though, he destroys the players that gave Cody trouble this season, not losing a single set to Moki or Kadoran. Looking at some of the other top players, Zayn has fared slightly better than Cody against Mango and HBox, for instance. A 9-0 for Zayn compared to a 9-2 for Cody, who dropped a set to Mango at Gommel and a set to HBox at SmashCon. But surely Cody's 5-0 record against Plup, who quietly put together an amazing season with wins at Riptide and CEO with a second at Big House 11, has to count for something, right? Somehow, Zayn and Plup haven't played since all the way back at Summit 14. Their lifetime head-to-head stands at 9-5 in Plup's favor offline, a set that will be fascinating to see whenever it happens next. But once again, neither Zayn nor Cody builds any real separation here. I could do this all day. Cody has 2 extra tournament wins, Arca Melee in France, which he took over Jmook Aklo in solo battle, and Santa Paws in Alabama this past weekend, which he took over Jmook Aklo and Kadoran. Zayn can make up for this with extra consistency though. His average placement of 2.2 beats Cody's solidly at 2.9, and his worst placement is 5th compared to Cody's 13th at Tipped Off, where he lost to Polish and Kadoran. So let's get back to the match. The whole reason the match is even happening is that there's about a 99% chance that not a single one of the stats I've rattled off to you over the past few minutes has changed your mind at all, especially if you came into this video feeling particularly strongly in favor of either Cody or Zayn as number 1. And that's totally fine. But should a 1st to 10 change your opinion of who had the better year as a tournament player? Probably not, for a bunch of reasons. 1st to 10s have substantially different dynamics than 1st to 2s and 1st to 3s played in normal tournaments. Just one small example, and you can pause the video here to take the quiz, but do you know how DSR works in a 1st to 10, or if it even exists? Do you know what proper stage banning theory should be in a 1st to 10 instead of a best of 5? I fucking don't. I'm not number 1. I play Mario, what? And then there's also the context of matches within a tournament compared to a single 1st to 10 that's the only competitive set the players will play all weekend. One of the biggest aspects of tournament play is endurance. Part of what makes consistently winning Melee tournaments so difficult is you need to be prepared for so many different characters, opponents, and playstyles. It's also not a format that players practice for because this is the first time a set like this has ever counted for rankings. If you're trying to answer who's the most likely to win the biggest majors of 2024, this set probably shouldn't move the needle much for you in either direction. But thankfully, that's not the reason the match exists, and it's not the reason why the match is going to be one of the most hype Melee days of the year. The reason the match is going to be hype is that the 2 best Melee players in the world are fully invested. They're both going to be playing as if this is the most important Melee ever played, and honestly it is, as if the match will answer all of these questions about who had the best year and who is the best player once and for all. And I think we all know that it won't, of course. Have you ever been on the internet before? Nothing can stop you ravenous people from arguing about anything, much less a season where these 2 players have been so insanely close all year long. But in a year where no ranking decision was going to be satisfying, Ludwig, the players, and Melee stats combined to do what so many competitive games and sports are afraid to do. They decided to have a little fun with it. Fun while playing a video game. What a novel concept, I can't believe it. It may not be the perfect way to answer the question of who's number 1, but it's gonna be some of the most exciting Melee of the year. And I for one can't wait to see who comes out on top as the greatest player of 2023.
Well, you told me that day at school for career day. You came in and you said, if you ain't first, you're last.
Oh, hell, Ricky, I was high when I said that. I mean, that doesn't make any sense at all. You're first, you're last. You can be second, you can be 3rd, 4th. Hell, you can be 5th.
What are you talking about?
Hey, drop a comment below about your opinions on the event and who you think will win. Thanks as always to our top tier patrons and YouTube members Vishua Stein, Bobby Wasabi, Eric is Cool, Juniper, and NNG Esports.